It's crossover time. Take your favorite Disney properties and one of the Game of the Year winning games, put them together, we have Dixit Disney. Hey everyone, I'm Kylie here at Games Unlimited in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and today I get to talk about Dixit Disney. I have laid out here all the components for Dixit Disney, a fantastic, I don't know, would you call it crossover theming? I'm not sure how it works when you're, crossing media from something else with a board game. But this is Dixit. If you're not familiar with Dixit, it is one of the greatest, most creative party games ever made. We tend to sort of sell this as like Pictionary if you want to have to actually think a little bit more. So the way Dixit in general works, Dixit won the Spiel des Jahres, 11, 12 years ago, Game of the Year winner. One of the fantastic things about it, probably the best part of it, is the fantastic artwork, the sort of surreal, dreamy artwork, which of course is represented through Disney artwork in this particular version of the game. So there are 84 different cards. Every card is completely different, and every card actually represents a Disney or Disney and Pixar feature film. So we've got really cool interpretations of things like Lady and the Tramp. It was fun to go through these just trying to recognize what they all are. There's Aladdin right there. 84 different films. But what you're doing in the game is, this is a competitive game. Everybody's going to have a hand of cards. Whoever's the sort of narrator or storyteller for the round will pick a card from their hand, and they will describe it however they want. They can sing a little song about it. They want to be vague, but they hope that other people can guess it. The key to Dixit is ambiguity. So I'll take a card. I might take this card that's clearly from Inside Out. Now, no knowledge of Disney is required. In fact, your knowledge of Disney might hinder you sometimes. But I'll try to describe this somehow. And I might say, just looking at the imagery on the card, I might say, I might say rainbow. That might be a little too on point. I might say ups and downs, right? So I'm going to take that card and I'm going to put it face down. Now, everybody else is going to look at their hand, and they're going to try to find a card that they think represents ups and downs. So if I had this in my hand, I might actually throw that out there because I'm hoping that other people will pick my card instead of the card that the actual storyteller put in there. So I might throw that out there. Let me see what else might be good. I mean, I could totally see this being picked for ups and downs, right? So you're trying to get creative here. So you throw those cards in, and then you're going to reveal them all. They're all set on this board with a number, and every player has a little tracker that they can denote which number they think is actually the narrators, who is actually the storytellers. The storyteller doesn't guess, because of course they know. Now, you are hoping to guess the storytellers. You're going to get points if you guess the storytellers. You are also hoping that other people guess yours, right? If you've picked something so good that it tricks other people into thinking that's the one that the storyteller put in, you're going to get points for that. The real fun is that the storyteller themselves gets points if at least one person picked their card, but not if everybody picked their card. So they don't want to be so obvious, right? I wouldn't want to take this card and be like, oh yes, it's a roller coaster and it's emotions and it's from the movie Inside Out. Well, everyone will pick that. But you don't want to be so vague that no one picks your card, because everyone's confused by all the other cards out there and nobody actually gets it right. So you need at least one person to get it right, but not everyone. That's the genius of Dixit. Disney Dixit doesn't change anything about the formula. It just brings in all this lovely Disney artwork. Now, I've been asked, is the game too easy? Because, if you're familiar with Disney. I've played this one with my family, I've played this with my kids. In some ways, it's actually harder, because it's hard for you not to try to use all the connotations from Disney. I'll give you an example. I had a card from The Little Mermaid in my hand. And I decided, look, I will whistle the tune, one of the tunes from Little Mermaid, because somebody's going to, whoever puts a card out there. No. I didn't have the Little Mermaid card in my hand. I apologize. I actually had a card, I think it was a card from Soul. It had some music notes on it. So I whistled the tune from Little Mermaid thinking I was clever. Because if someone did have the Little Mermaid card in their hand, they'd throw that out there, but they wouldn't be able to pick pick that because that was their own. Unfortunately, I didn't realize there are actually a lot of cards that have music notes on there. So somebody threw the Little Mermaid card out there, but somebody threw out a card from Encanto that had music notes on it, a card from Soul. So it turns out people picked a bunch of cards that weren't mine, and I got no points. So it can be tricky. Sometimes you try to lean into your knowledge of Disney. Sometimes it actually gets in the way. But I think this is a fantastic game. Even if you don't know Dixit, like I honestly direct this to people who are fans of Disney, who know people who are fans of Disney, because it's going to be a very cool way that they can interact with these properties that they know and love, and just get to look at all the beautiful artwork. So that is Dixit Disney. Of course, you can also play it with Mysterium if you know what that is, but that's a conversation for another time. That's Dixit Disney. Come on down to Games Unlimited, take a look at it. We'd love to talk to you. We'd love to show you some of these cards. If you're not local, we're happy to ship it out to you. We do free shipping at $100. I'm Kylie at Games Unlimited. Come on down, take a copy home, and unbox some fun.